Silent John incremental, another silent instrumental, the nerd rap existential. People compare me to MC Christopher a lot, but the fact is I predict it with significance. I'm the oldest geek rapper by far, save K and R. Compiling kernels, open bracket, cause I racket. And my teen nerds throw your laser pen in the air and wave it all around like you had no repercussions. Now follow instructions, Professor. Why these discussions consist of nothing but incoherent rambling and babbling, but you just still take notes cause you never know what's happening. I'll drop a little nugget, a tidbit if you will. There were 4 United States presidents named Bill. Really? If you run out of hit points, the game will shout.
Your life force is running out.
If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life, yeah. Let me start again, put it on like a cardigan, swinging like my name was Mad Mardigan. Which reminds me, Warwick Davis was Willow and a knee walk. Leonard Nimoy was Galvatron and Spock. That ain't typecast, I don't know what it. Talk about predestiny, nobody gets the best of me. I've only played one role my whole lifetime. The nerd lifeline, stream through a wicked pipeline. So no one can bite mine, cause mine is original and I write rhymes to burn on a CD, play in the mini V. Soccer moms yodel back, yodel at little me. I got a sidekick, I gotta stay connected. Watch out for my D-comma, you'll get infected. And you don't wanna be one of my bots, cause I see it all like Sauron the Cyclops. And I won't hesitate to drop your whole net block if you're acting up and you're dumber than a pet rock. I'm about this nerd life, as you can see, spreading like a virus on MP3. On MP3. STC. Shout out to Vic, Agnostic One, up in Silent John. Yeah. Nerd Life, Graphing Calculator, HP48G. The G is for gangster. Digital Stip, yeah. You know how we do.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD. Today, looks like I'm going solo. That's right. We're going solo. It's probably going to be a short stream. I know I say that a lot, and it ends up being like 2 or 3 hours. But this one's probably going to be short. Not feeling too well. A little bit under the weather. Been busy with other things. Didn't really have time to really even put together a good show for you. So apologies right off the bat for the lackluster content. Short screen for a short man? No, I'm 6'2". I'm not short at all. Not short at all. But today we're going to be talking about several things. The Mario movie, its great success, what it means for the future. DC's failures at the box office and why they're blaming this on James Gunn. We're going to talk about John Boyega. He's rumored to make a return to Star Wars. That's interesting. Some Venom 3 casting news. Of course, we got to talk about some video game things. We're going to talk about Tom Brady threatening a lawsuit over a AI special. And then, like I said, we got to go over the polls and whatever else pops up. But right now, let's say what's up to Haunted Wisp. I see 56K warning. I see Genovi's in the chat. Why so low? There's going to be discussion. No. We don't do drama. We don't do drama. You Super J says you got to hang a little here and then off to a hot ones, wings, dinner, bourbon. Possibly. Thanks, Extra Hero. Thanks. As some of you may have guessed from the polls this week, I asked a question about energy drinks. And yes, I have once again decided to go cold turkey on the Monsters. I was having 3 and 4 a day. The caffeine was just getting too much. It wasn't actually doing anything. It wasn't keeping me up. So I decided to go ahead and just cut it out. I mean, like I said, if it's not doing what it's supposed to, if I'm literally drinking one, what was it, like a 24-ounce can and then downing another 16 ounce. Something's not working, right? Something's not right. So we're going to cut it out. We're going to go back to basics. We can't handle low energy. I know I'm boring as it is. So could you imagine low energy? Good energy drink. I like the taste. I do love the taste, but yeah, they are garbage. They've probably been doing a terrible disservice to my body. Yeah. I need Range or C4. Oof, no. I've tried other brands. They just weren't as good. I didn't like them. I'm a man of habit. Extra Hero says, I used to work with someone who used to drink 3 to 4 monsters a day. I snitched and told him, why you be snitching on people? Don't be snitching. Something's not working. If you're drinking just to drink, there's something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was just drinking energy drinks. Like, I get thirsty instead of drinking water. I just grab an energy drink. One at mealtime, breakfast. It just got out of hand. It got out of hand. And I seen it. I recognized it for what it was. So I went ahead and, I put an end to that. Stock up on Four Loko. Not at my job. That would be dangerous. Lots of people would get hurt. I don't think President Joe Biden would be too happy if I was drinking Four Loko on the job. He would not. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some things. This first story, it's a little crazy. It's from TMZ. Tom Brady threatens a lawsuit over AI special. Comedians take vid down. So first off, I don't think anybody really thought this was the real Tom Brady, right? I mean, we have not gotten to the point where the AI is so good that you cannot tell between the real person and a AI generated person. But apparently, Tom Brady didn't agree. It says Tom Brady apparently didn't think an AI generated comedy special about him was funny at all. According to the comedians who helped create the viral hour-long video, which featured an animated version of the NFL legend telling crass jokes in a stand-up format, TB12 threatened legal action over it just days after it was posted, which forced them to wipe it from the internet this week. Will Sasso and Chad Koltkin explained the situation on their Dudesy podcast on Tuesday, saying that shortly after they helped put up the fake Brady comedy special on their Patreon page earlier this month, they received a cease and desist letter from the GOAT's attorney. The guy said Brady's lawyer claimed in a letter that the AI version of the future Hall of Famer blatantly violates the former quarterback's rights, and if they didn't meet a list of demands, which include taking down the video, a lawsuit would be forthcoming. You got to start protecting your licenses, your likenesses now. Yeah, you do. It's true. But here's the thing, right? I didn't see the video. I didn't know what was titled or how they tried to pass it off. If they tried to pass this off as legitimate, we captured Tom Brady doing local comedy, or we talked to Tom Brady and we had him come in and do some comedy, and this is the result. If that was the case, if they were trying to pass this off as real or in any way the actual Tom Brady's voice, then I understand, right? They understand and say, hey, you probably should take that down, right? But just looking at the picture, there's no way. There's no way anybody thought that was a real Tom Brady. You could just see his hands not even correct. AI is really bad with hands, fingers. So I don't think, there's a fine line. If they would have put parody of Tom Brady, or, what if Tom Brady was a stand-up comedian, and then put the video up, maybe I guess I would be like, hey, this is not a big deal. I don't understand the big deal. But let's see what they have to say. So Sasso and Koltkin clearly thought the whole thing was BS on their pod. They wondered how it was in any way differentiated from live comedians doing impressions of celebs on shows like Saturday Night Live, but they nonetheless acquiesced. Well, there is a stark contrast, right? AI is trying to look like the person as close as possible, where it's virtually indistinguishable. Whereas somebody dressing up, Will Ferrell doing his the hell's his name? Harry Carey. You know it's Will Ferrell. There's no one who thinks that was the real Harry Carey, right? So there's a little difference. There's a little difference there. The comedian said they took down the comedy special at midnight Tuesday. They added, though the situation wouldn't prevent them from making further attempts at AI comedy, perhaps even making one down the road that features President Joe Biden. Tempting fate, boys, aren't you? Tempting fate. Yeah, so like I said, I understand that AI. Potion says there has to be some First Amendment stuff going on here too, though. I would have loved this to go to court. Yeah, that would have been a nice thing to go to court, but they would have definitely sided with Tom Brady. I'm pretty sure money and lawyer and influence, Hollywood would have definitely gotten involved. We talked about it last week. They had the Drake, fucking Drake in the Weekend. That's who it was. Drake in the Weekend, and that AI song that people thought was real, and they had Instagram take that down. So it's definitely coming. There's definitely going to be a court case soon. And if I was a betting man, I would say that it would definitely fall on the side of the corporations, because it always does, right? That's how Disney was able to extend the copyright. That's how corporations are able to get away with all these loopholes with copyright and IP protections. So looking forward to that shit show whenever that happens. And we'll definitely cover it. Does the AI have freedom of speech? No, it doesn't. But the AI would be controlled by the person, and the person would have freedom of speech. It would be an expression issue, right? It'd be like art. Art is not its own thing, right? You know, me writing a book and saying, and then President Joe Biden went on to the airplane and started shooting all the terrorists. And then he took the airplane and flew it back home, and he was celebrated, right? If I wrote that in a book, that's not real. It didn't happen. Joe Biden is a real person. As long as the book is clearly a fictional book, then I am free to write that. And I'm free to make him say whatever I want in the book, right? Because it's fictional. I think that's where the line is being blurred between the fictional and the real, and people trying to pass off the fictional as real. Yeah. And we're living in the future, baby. Hell yeah. Hoverboards are incoming. Any day now. Back to the Future promised me hoverboards, and I am very disappointed. We haven't gotten any. All right, moving right along. Venom 3. Ted Lasso's Juno Temple lands lead role in Sony and Marvel's Venom 3. I didn't even think there was going to be a Venom 3, right? I never seen the original Venom. I did see Venom Let There Be Carnage because I was a huge fan of Carnage. That's a great character. I wanted to see how they handle it. Woody Harrelson was playing it, so I was like, oh, this is interesting. Even if I didn't see the first one, this sequel is interesting. But it was a huge letdown. The ending was terrible. How they killed Carnage and all that was just too bad. It was just garbage. But apparently, there's going to be a 3. It says exclusive with her hit Apple series Ted Lasso coming to a close. Emmy-nominated Juno Temple looks to have found a major global. I don't know if it's major. Pretty sure Venom is not major. Global, I guess, technically, but not major. To follow it up with, a source tells Deadline, she is in negotiations to co-star in Sony and Marvel's Venom 3. Tom Hardy is set to return as a titular character, with the franchise longtime writer Kelly Marcel taking over the directing reins. Sony and Temple's reps had no comment on the casting. Marcel and Hardy will produce, and Marcel will write in the screenplay from a story she and Hardy wrote. Avi Arad, Matt Tolmach, Amy Pascal, and Hutch Parker are also producing. Plot details are unknown, other than Hardy is returning as a lethal protector Venom, following the first 2 films grossing a combined $1.36 billion. Well, wow, they made that much money? Ridiculous. It's also unknown who will be joining Hardy from previous films, or whether any characters from the Sony Picture Universe or Marvel characters will be joining the film. Who Temple will be playing is being kept under wraps. While Temple was known for her roles in such projects as Vinyl, Killer Joe, and Atonement, her role as the delightful Keely Jones on Apple's massive hit series Ted Lasso helped put her on the map of up-and-coming leading ladies. And landing this coveted role, yeah, again, I'm not sure that a role in Venom is coveted, but whatever. It shows that she was the producer's top choice for the part. As insiders say, her performance on Ted Lasso has earned her Emmy and SAG nominations for each of the seasons it has aired, and she is sure to be in the mix this Emmy season as well. While the series is coming to an end, Temple already has been busy setting up the future slate, starting with her hit FX anthology series Fargo. The 5th season is about to wrap shooting, and she's set to be front and center of Noah Hawley's latest installment of the series. She's repped by Utah, B-Side Management, Mason 2, and Lichter Grossen Nichols. Interesting. This is from Deadline. Don't know who she's playing. Not much details other than she's in the movie. And it's a movie that's happening. So look forward to more news on that. Like I said, second Venom, I thought it was kind of trash. I didn't see the first one again, but I seen the second one. Didn't like it. It's not very. It didn't stay close to the comic, to the source material. It wasn't very interesting. Some of the choices they made, the way they portrayed Venom, the way they portrayed Eddie Brock, didn't really like it. So. Shocked to see that there's going to be a third one. Apparently, it made money, and that's all that matters in Hollywood. So we'll see a third one. I don't think she'll be playing a villain. It'll be interesting if she's being cast as the villain. She's probably being cast as the love interest to Venom. Extra Hero says, I'm more excited about the upcoming season of Fargo that they alluded to at the end of the article. To each their own. I've heard good things about Fargo. I don't watch it. First one was better, but still not great. Yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about the first one, but I just never got around to watching it. It wasn't on any of the services that I had, any of the streaming services, so I never watched it. And then part 2 came out, and my dad's like, I want to watch part 2. Let's watch it. And so he's like, I'll rent it, and you come over with Sidekick Max, and we'll watch it. So we did, and didn't really like it. So. AI OnlyFans, drugs legalized, etc. We're living in cyberpunk. Yeah. What's funny is because you put AI and OnlyFans with a comma as two separate things, but I read an article earlier this week that somebody actually used AI to generate pictures for an OnlyFans account. He was posing as a woman using AI to create pictures, and then he was selling it to people. Apparently, he made a whole bunch of money. So. I skip all the Spider-Man content except for Spider-Verse. I haven't seen that one either. I haven't watched Into the Spider-Verse. I'm probably not going to watch Across the Spider-Verse. So, Fargo is like a low-budget, less well-written version of Boardwalk Empire, but still that better than most shows. Ouch. I'm not sure. It sounded like you were praising the show there, but it can go either way, I guess. All right. This is the big one. John Boyega, rumored to make Star Wars comeback in 2025 movie. And we were talking about this briefly the other day. I don't think it's happening, right? I really don't. John Boyega was really upset with Disney, his treatment of what he said was the representation of minority characters. And just recently, I mean, not too long ago, in another interview, John Boyega basically said, hey, the things I said before about Star Wars, about Disney, about my treatment, I still stand by them. I still agree with it. That chapter of my life is over. Moving on to bigger and better things. But rumors are what rumors are, right? So let's see what the director has to say. It says, a new rumor points towards John Boyega reprising his Star Wars role as Finn in a future project. For many fans, this news comes as a surprise, especially since the actor has been openly critical of how Lucasfilm handled his character in recent years. However, new buzz suggests that Daisy Ridley isn't the only Star Wars sequel trilogy star Lucas wants for its future film. Now, there's a difference between wanting, right? Lucasfilm can 100% want Finn to return, John Boyega to reprise the role, 100%. But doesn't mean that that's what John Boyega wants, right? Doesn't mean that John Boyega wants to return. So On the Hot Mic podcast, John Rocha revealed that a couple different sources claim John Boyega will be coming back for Charmin Obaid-Chinoy's 2025 Star Wars film. This means Boyega's reformed stormtrooper will be sharing the screen once more with Daisy Ridley's Rey. But in this film, Rey building a new Jedi Order 15 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker. What would be funny, what's up, Beefy? What would be funny is if Disney has, the contracts that John Boyega and them signed, if they do have the likeness rights to Finn as a character, if they just say screw it and have a AI computer generated CGI Finn show up for like a brief cameo in this new movie, just to screw over John Boyega once again, I think that would be pretty hilarious. As for why John Boyega is now open to returning, two of Rocha's trusted sources explain that the actor and Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy reportedly buried the hatchet, allowing for new negotiations. I mean, if you're going to write this, if you're going to make up rumors, I would have said, hey, Kathleen Kennedy's on her way out, so John Boyega and the new head of Lucasfilms, the new president, the heir apparent, have negotiated. Because we all know any day now, Kathleen Kennedy, she's gone. She's gone. She's going to leave. Getting fired. Whether this conversation is what the actor referenced back in 2022 or a more recent conversation is unknown. Lucasfilm interest in bringing Boyega back on board makes sense. Despite how the sequel films relegated Finn's story, he remained a favorite amongst fans and is considered one of the trilogy's biggest missed opportunities. His role in Charmin Obaid-Chinoy's potentially 2025 film would be a way for Star Wars to make things right for the character, John Boyega, and Star Wars fans. Plus, there's the fact that Finn is force sensitive. It's supposedly what he wanted to tell Rey all throughout the 2019 film. If that is the case, with Rey now rebuilding the Order, Finn is sure to be part of that, meaning that fans may finally see the former FN-2187 as a full-fledged Jedi. As for Boyega, he can return to the franchise knowing he brought attention to a Lucasfilm misstep while also getting a second chance to further explore his character. It's truly a win for everyone involved. The question now, if the rumor is true, is whether Lucasfilm will make it official and whether Star Wars is calling Poe Dameron's Oscar Isaac too. I think Oscar Isaac would probably be more likely to return as he is working with Disney, is playing Moon Knight. So 56 says John is old news and he's terrible. Oof. Disney needs to pick up Damson Idris. Yeah, someone was saying there was a rumor that Damson Idris is the kind of actor they're looking for to replace Kang if need be. So let's say that Kang doesn't get replaced and that he ends up, innocent, so they keep Jonathan Majors. Damson Idris, could slide into the role as Finn. You never know. Sweet and Tender says, yo, any fucking Amico news up in this bitch? No Amico news. There's nothing. Nothing has come out lately. Super J says, when actors start writing their own stuff, bad things happen. Anyone remember Superman 4? Yeah. I do. I like Superman 4, though. I know everybody rags on it as being a terrible Superman movie, but I do like it. I like Nuclear Man. I like the whole idea of Superman saying, hey, get rid of your nuclear weapons because I'm Superman and you can't stop me. Right? He's not exactly evil. He's still good. He's still doing things for the good, but he's still treading that line, walking that fine line. I like that. So, yeah, I don't think this rumor is true. I don't think it's happening. I think it's a lot of hot air. I think it's a lot of people looking for something to talk about, right? They announced a new Daisy Ridley project. And so what is the obvious? Well, John Boyega coming back. Oscar Isaac's coming back, right? I don't think it's happening. Like I said, there was recent, very within, I think, the last couple of months where John Boyega talked about it again, and he's basically saying he's not coming back. So, no. I don't think it happens. And John Riggs sucks. He does. It's terrible. All right. I guess this is, I don't know if this is gaming news or film news, maybe a little bit of both, but no doubt that more Nintendo movies are coming, Shigeru Miyamoto says. This might be a bit of a no-brainer considering the Super Mario Brothers movie had the biggest ever opening weekend for an animated film and is sitting atop a pile of golden coins as high as the highest grossing films of 2023 thus far. The film is closing in on nearly $1 billion in the worldwide box office at the time of this writing. But there is no doubt that more Nintendo movies are coming, according to Mario creator and legendary video game developer Shigeru Miyamoto. Please keep an eye on our next production, Miyamoto told Japanese news site Nikkei. This time, Mario was the focus, but Nintendo is like a talent agency. We have many other entertainers in our catalog. Miyamoto didn't mention specifically which Nintendo movies might be next, but he did add, there are various ways to develop characters for the big screen, including characters that are suitable for film and characters that are well known. Seth Rogen, who plays Donkey Kong in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, said in recent interviews that he thinks a Donkey Kong movie would be fun. I could see a Donkey Kong movie, but I haven't seen the Mario movie. I haven't seen it yet. Full disclosure. I hear it's good. But, I mean, this is kind of new lore for the Mario franchise, right? He meets Donkey Kong. He meets this version of Donkey Kong, which, as we all know, is actually the son of Donkey Kong. It's not the original Donkey Kong. It's not the Donkey Kong from the titular arcade game Donkey Kong, but rather, a descendant of Donkey Kong. Cranky Kong would be the original Donkey Kong. So they're taking away that part of the lore, right? So there is no Jumpman. They acknowledged the Wrecking Crew. They sort of acknowledged the Mario Brothers canon, that game, where they're in the sewers. But the Donkey Kong connection, that kind of got swept under the rug, right? That didn't exist in this movie. Donkey Kong equals OG Donkey Kong Jr. Yeah, that's the rumor, right? I don't think there's ever been any official canon as to that it is Donkey Kong Jr. I think that's the theory, and that makes sense. But they did say that Cranky Kong was the original Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Country is not the original Donkey Kong. And I think that's as far as Nintendo has gone. And then Donkey Kong Jr. is just kind of missing in action. And so everyone's just like, well, then the new Donkey Kong must be Jr. It would have to be based on genetics. What? Did anyone think that a Mario movie wouldn't make a ton of money? Call me when Nintendo does something less obvious and braver. Well, I mean, we had the Mario movie in the 90s, right? That movie sucked. So, yeah. Oh, Captain Phasma was totally screwed over. You Super J, to go back to the. I thought it was a great design. It was cool looking. I was like, oh, this she's got to be something, right? She's got this awesome stormtrooper outfit, and then it's just like nothing, just nothing. It was just an extra toy that we needed. So, yeah. Rogan added, I honestly had a great time doing the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I think it's a big world, gigantic, and it seems to be a thing that people are excited to see. Which Nintendo movies would you like to see in the future? Blah, 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 blah. This is from Retbit. I do think a Donkey Kong Country movie. Donkey Kong goes back. He runs into King K. Rool. Maybe while Donkey Kong was away helping Mario and Princess Peach, King K. Rool came in and did a mess of things. Now Donkey Kong has to fix that mess, a la Donkey Kong Country. So, Nintendo movies done right are a license to print money. That they are. It would be interesting to know, though, which movies, what do they actually own that is Nintendo, right? You got Mario, Metroid, Zelda. A lot of the early Nintendo games that you're like, oh, this is like, when you think of Nintendo, they're not really like Mega Man's Capcom franchise. You had a lot of early Konami stuff. So, a lot of things like the Smash Bros. Everyone thinks of that as but not everything in a Smash Brothers game is Nintendo property, right? So when you get down to the nitty gritty, it's going to be weird. DK may also be DK the third, son of DK. That's what I'm saying, right? So we don't know. We don't know. Especially because monkeys age differently than people, right? And I think someone did the math and they're like, well, if Donkey Kong was X amount of years, this is why he would be the grandson and not the son of Donkey Kong. But that's for someone else to do. No Stanley the Bugman. Yeah, that's from that game was actually pretty fun. Donkey Kong 3. DK3 time-wise would make more sense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then what happened to Donkey Kong Jr.? He just kind of fucked off. Excuse me. Had to drink some water. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. I know there were some people that were really upset about Redfall and it's 30 FPS, and that kind of shit just doesn't interest me, right? So it's 30 FPS locked on consoles. It's kind of a pain in the ass, kind of going against what Xbox said they were going to do, right? But it is what it is. I mean, there's really nothing you can do short of just not buying the game to send a message to Microsoft and let them know, hey, this shit is unacceptable. They own 30% of Pokemon. I wonder if a Pocket Monsters movie could be successful. Oh, hello, Monster Lawyers. You got here quick. No, I mean, they already had Pokemon movies, right? But that's what I'm saying. They're not considered Nintendo movies, right? All those Pokemon movies that came out up to and including Detective Pikachu. Sweet Nintendo says, talk about Genovi's patent video being removed from Reddit 3 times and then comments locked on the 4th posting. We can talk about that. That was weird. I do know the head mod for was it Intellivision _Amico. Is a big Pat fan. You know, there were a lot of weird things because they do go into this whole. What's the word I'm looking for? He goes to bat for Pat a lot. He's a big Pat fan. Doesn't like people saying things about Pat. So we'll go over the post. We'll take a look at it and see what's going on. And Kid Icarus, they own that. So there's that. I guess this is the only Amico related news. Television _Amico. The Genovi video is such a hit piece. I'm blown away. So this is the 4th time that people have attempted to talk about the Genovi video. And like I said, the head mod, he does some funny things, right? So like when the H Bomber guy video came out, that's centered on Tommy Tallarico. He pinned that to the Reddit, right? To let people know. You come to the Reddit, the first thing you see is that H Bomber guy video. When Slopes did his video, he didn't pin it. He didn't really talk about it. There was no real discussion over the Slopes video. And when there was discussion, it was like, why would you let someone like Smash JT do a voice? Why would you let that evil Retro Bro and that evil Tony TGG be voices? Instead of actually, talking about the content of the video, they just complained about who was participated in the video. The Genovi video, again, lots of positive feedback on the video. Lots of people who enjoyed the video. I think it's up to 17 or 18,000 views as of this. I'll check out right now. Let's see. There's 19,000 views on the video in the last 4 days. I think it was well done. It was well researched. He looked into all things. He said things matter of factly, right? He didn't really throw shade. He wasn't really mean. There was a few funny lines, right? Some comparisons that people didn't like. Isn't it ironic they call in television, Facebook a hug box and do stuff like this? It is ironic. It is. Because, again, this isn't a pro-Pat or an anti-Pat Reddit. When they had videos about Smash, they put those up. When they had videos about Retro Bro, they let those be up. Right? Videos about the shills, it's fine. Videos about people that used to be shills, former shills, current shills, pro-rich videos, anti-rich videos. All that stuff was fine. But the second someone makes a video just criticizing Pat, they want to clamp it down. They want to clamp it down. This is Pat Genovi news, not Amico news. Well, I'm connecting it to the subreddit, which is an Amico subreddit. So there's that. Yeah. But so this is the post by Murder Alaska. It says, I'm surprised no one is talking about it here. Maybe it's just too toxic. I'm on the treadmill now at the gym, but I had to leave the below comment. There's so much more I could have added that I feel were really low, like blaming Pat for Mike Matei's indiscretions. No one blamed Pat for Mike's indiscretions. It's almost like people watched the video, but they didn't actually listen to the words Genovi said. What Genovi was saying was, Pat's very quick to say that the company you keep, the fans you have, the people you associate with professionally have a reflection on you, right? They reflect on you. If they reflect badly on you, you should cut them out. And Mike Matei's indiscretions definitely reflect badly on Pat. But Pat has never called Mike Matei out. That was the point, right? Here's my comment. How does everyone else feel? I feel like I'm missing something with this video. The beginning was disjointed, and I checked your channel to see if there was a part 1. The video didn't feel disjointed at all. If anything, the video was, you should be familiar with who Pat is. I mean, he could have maybe be like, this is who Pat is and why you should care about Pat. But other than that, I mean, I think the video was again, not disjointed. It set up the premise. It started off and said, how did we get here? Let's take you back. The political references was bizarre and out of place. The Kamala joke was a non sequitur to me. I didn't get the Kamala joke myself, but I mean, I don't get every joke that every person makes. I don't see how that's important. Like that really, set this guy off. Don't put political humor in my video about Pat. Don't mention Kamala Harris for some reason. It's kind of weird. What's up, CM Retro? Tony, time to start the Intellivision __ Amigo subreddit. Well, I started this subreddit. This is my baby. The Intellivision _ Amigo subreddit was started by me because the Amigo subreddit was not allowing people to go ahead and talk about things, right? The Amigo subreddit was squashing any dissenting voices. So I started this one. Then when somebody who Pat and Ian don't like, what the hell's his name? Zadok Payet, the Amico head mod, decided to get a bug up his ass and make claims that I was alt-right, was a terrible person. How could you let this Trump supporter be in charge of a subreddit about Amico? This is a non-political subreddit, but somehow the idea that I was right-leaning was important. This was important information that people needed to know, needed to be aware of. And then, so, a lot of these people in the subreddit are left-leaning, and so they got upset because, the left traditionally does not like people on the right. They're very tolerant unless you have an opinion that's different than theirs. But I digress. So I stepped down. I said, hey, I'll step down. I'll put this other guy in charge, who I thought was a good dude. I thought Tommy Poopy Pants was a good guy. I said, go ahead, Tommy Poopy Pants. You will run the subreddit. I figured he'd run it the way I was running it. He has not. It has devolved a bit. There's been a lot of personal attacks on people. There's been a lot of in the dirt, in the mud, things that I definitely wouldn't allow if I was in charge still. But what can I do, right? Eventually, Reddit didn't like me at all, and I got the boot from Reddit completely, probably, and thanks to Zadig Payet. But here we are. Who cares, right? I can still use it. I can still view Reddit. I don't need to make my comments. Quick question. Do you support trans rights? I support trans rights and lefts. Show me a right that a trans person doesn't have that a regular person has, and I'll definitely go to the bat for them, right? I think trans people exist. They are as real as anyone else. They're human, and they should be allowed to go about their day in a normal manner, like anyone else, right? At the end of the day. Ever try not storming the Capitol? I did. I did try. I tried. I was like, and damn it, I just couldn't. It's in my blood, Potion. It's in my blood. The government is evil. I'm like you, Potion. Down with the government, anarchy. Let's take down the government. The stream is going to get taken down. Right? Fight the power. And so that's what I did. Can't help it. There's another third. There's like four, actually. There's like four Amico subreddits. DVD Fever, after he got banned from this one, he started his own Amico subreddit too. Tony gave up potential future internet money over Lamal. Yeah. I'm left, right, BA, select, start. Yeah. You don't actually need to select. The select is not part of the code. The select was part of the Contra code, so you can go 2 players, but it's not part of the real code. I support human rights, and trans people are included because they're human. Duh. Exactly. Fuck yeah, Tony. Those Reddit folks probably don't even know that you think that way. They do. I've been very, very clear. Like, even when I left, I was very clear of what I think and how I feel on certain issues. Right? I said, well, Tony, how do you support a border wall? Right? How can you support a border wall? I said, well, I don't want people dying trying to get into the country. Right? If a border wall keeps people from coming into the country illegally and dying on the journey, then put a border wall. If a border wall helps people come into the country illegally and be able to get legal citizenship instead of being taken advantage of because they are illegals, right? Because illegals do get taken advantage of because they're scared to get deported, right? So their bosses take advantage of them. Other people take advantage of them, neighborhood people, gangsters, gangbangers, mafia, all the bad folks take advantage of illegals because illegals are very scared they're going to get deported. They're basically second-class citizens by their own making, right? And so I'm not really for that. I want more proper immigration, right? I want a expanded legal immigration system and to stomp out illegal immigration. And if a wall helps facilitate that dream, then I'm all for it. They're still going after people who was there. Yeah. DVD Fever Spam. Yeah, he doesn't participate. That's when I had banned him for 3 days. I gave him a 3-day ban at one point when I was still in charge. I said, dude, you can't just spam your videos. Participate in the other threads. Talk to people. Just don't drop your video and leave. Right? That's spamming. Come in, talk to people, participate in the other topics, add some information, add some discussion to the threads, and no one will have a problem with you dropping your videos. He didn't like that. He just wanted to promote. And so I game with family, so select needed. It's true. Meanwhile, folks living close to the borders are dealing with cartels, lots of other things. The amount of women, right? And this is what always, it's always been weird to me, right? Women's rights, women's issues are a big thing with the left, right? The left really cares about women. Except when it comes to stats like 70% of all illegals who come into the country are raped on their way here to America, right? Females who try to enter the country illegally are taken advantage of sexually by the coyotes and the other individuals who facilitate their journey here, right? And say, hey, probably not a good thing, right? It's probably not a good thing that women are being sexually assaulted and worse trying to come to America. Let's stop that from happening. And the only way to stop that from happening is to stop people from coming here illegally. But they don't understand that, right? They would prefer that people just try to come here illegally and let the chips fall where they may. But I guess that's too political. We're getting human trafficking gets swept under the American rug. Yeah, they say the biggest day for human trafficking in America is Super Bowl Sunday. I say that's the biggest day for human trafficking, sex trafficking in America every year, which is crazy when you think about it. But I digress. Speaking of hypocrisy, I remember thinking you were principled for saying you were going to take down your Amico video after a few days because you didn't want to do negative content. I don't remember Genovi ever saying that. He might have. He might have changed his mind. But I don't remember that. The Diablo Immortal thing is taken wildly out of context. If I recall correctly, we all knew at the time there was a mobile game. There weren't any details about the gross monetization features until the game release. Incorrect. Nobody knew. All right. They said that they were going to announce a new game at BlizzCon that year. There were rumors that a mobile game was coming out, but nobody knew that that was the game that was being announced at BlizzCon. And everybody did know about the gross monetization features, just not how gross they were going to be. So it's incorrect. The saying, but I digress, has never been more true than it just was. Yeah, we do that a lot here. You cannot compare the Amico situation to anything you're criticizing Pat for. This is patently ludicrous and damages your credibility on other better arguments. The Amico is one of the most scummy frauds ever inflicted on the video game space. They used boiler room guys like Neil Patel to steal money from retirees, and they knew they were lying about the product being viable for years. Comparing that to the guidebook situation is asinine. That's not what he did. He didn't compare that to the guidebook situation at all. Again, I think people watched the video, but they didn't actually understand the video. They didn't comprehend what Genovi was saying. I don't even want to totally defend Pat and Ian, as they are legitimate criticisms to them. To compare them to Tommy and the Amico is slanderous. Slanderous. It's not. Edit. I commented it with like a minute left in the video. Holy shit, Genovi compared Pat to Jimmy fucking Seville at the end. This is really wrong. He didn't compare him to Jimmy Seville. He just said, like Jimmy Seville, you can do good things and be a bad person, right? I think that's what he was getting at. Was it a little extreme? Yeah. So not like Cheetah Man 2? That's convenient. Yeah. I always thought, like, when I heard the Cheetah Man 2 thing, my brain didn't register what the hell it was. I legitimately thought it was just a sequel, right, to Cheetah Man. Like, someone had got the rights and that they were making a Cheetah Man 2 game, a game based on Cheetah Man, the game from Action 52, but like a sequel. A proper sequel that would have a proper conclusion, all the bells and whistles. I was never interested in it, but that's always what I thought because I never really looked into it. But then watching Genovi's video and hearing exactly what it was, yeah, that's gross. That's just terrible. But let's see what the comments are. There's 28 comments. This was locked. The post is locked. You won't be able to comment. But 28 comments got in. Tommy Poopy Pants, that's the head mod. See there, got the little moderator, got the little M moderator. Speaking officially, there he is, moderator. Thanks for posting some thoughtful comments about this dumpster fire of video. So there you go. He's already letting us know what he thinks of the video, right? He thinks it's a dumpster fire video, and that's why he wouldn't let it. Several people before you have posted it in an apparent effort to stir up drama. No, not an effort to stir up drama. Tommy Poopy Pants, an effort to have discussion about a topic about two people who were heavily featured, anti-Miko critics, right? Nobody stops any drama when they're talking about me, right? When people talk about me on here, that shit flies, right? You don't warn anybody, right? Nobody gets warned. Nobody gets told, "Hey, don't talk about Tony. It's not appropriate. Tony can't respond." Right? It's fine when they talk about me, but the second somebody wants to have a discussion about maybe some of the things Pat did, it's not appropriate, right? It's not time. Such a hit piece. Ooh, some people really miss the anti-humor. I even butchered a certain person's name to really drive the point home. That was a joke. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I didn't get the Kamala thing myself, Genovi. Maybe there's a reference I'm missing, but I thought it was a solid piece of work. Cough, Streisand effect, exactly. Subreddit ego. These subreddit mods are control freaks. Yeah. And I didn't realize when I made him the head mod, because when I passed down the mod ship before I left, I didn't realize how far left this guy is, Tommy Poop Pants. And so that's my bad. But moderators removed them because it has nothing to do with Intellivision Amico or anyone related to it. Moderators didn't remove it, Tommy. You did. Tommy Poopy Pants, you're the guy who removed it. I know all the moderators on Intellivision_Amico, and you were the one to remove it. And for that reason, I'm going to lock this as is, with the statement that any other reposting of this misguided video will be taken down. Let's stay on topic. Oof. It feels like some people are using the views and attention they got with Amico and Tommy content as a springboard to turn themselves into drama channels and talk smack about people like they don't like and try to keep the views they got going. It's kind of weird, in my humble opinion. It's kind of weird that you would level that accusation at Genovi. Genovi, who's barely made any content. Right? Genovi doesn't really make that much content. He doesn't produce content on a regular schedule or weekly or even daily basis. And I don't even think this video, as well as it's doing, is anywhere near as successful as any of Genovi's hit videos, right? Let's see. Going to Genovi's channel, 4 days ago is when the Pat video went up. 3 weeks ago was the Spider-Man Maximum Carnage review, which was an April Fool's joke video. Very entertaining. Before that, it was 5 months ago. 5 months. Then you got an Intellivision Amico Life Simulator, the game, which again was a kind of a jokey video. 6 months ago was a Sonic video. 10 months ago, the definitive Sega 32X review guide. And then a year ago was an Atari 5200 10 games worth owning today video. Genovi is not a content creator who produces content on the regular. I know he has some things going on. He's a busy man. And so it's understandable that he does it. But he produces content. He edits. He does all the good things, all the things that you want people to do with your videos. Definitely not a drama seeker. Definitely not someone who's trying to lock onto the fame, right? He has 14,000 subs. His highest viewed video is a unreleased Sega 32X games, canceled games, 96,000 views 4 years ago. He's got plenty of bigger videos. This Pat video, it might be pretty big. It might end up getting 25, 30,000 views. But I don't think it's going to be his most popular video. And I don't think that Genovi was using this to springboard into some sort of, popularity. The tens of dollars I make on this may be able to replace my job at Dairy Queen. Might. Just might. He says there was a ton of anti-humor. The Seville and Trump deal was commentary on the situation. I think Pat and these people are more offended by the Trump comparison than Seville. Probably. That's probably. I bought Pat's RBI stickers with my crypto money. I wisely cashed out my crypto the other day, right? I was up 20% on my crypto, and I went ahead and I cashed out, and which was smart because crypto has gone down, right? It was at my Ethereum was at like $2,059. Right now it's at $1,857. So I cashed out wisely, made a little money on my crypto. It's still going down. Yeah, a week ago it was at 21. Now it's down to 18. So I'm looking forward. I think Ethereum is going to go down to about 17. That's going to be my buy-in. Not legal advice, not financial advice, just the musings of an idiot. But yeah, I think it'll get down to 17, and that's when I'll pop back in and grab me some Ethereum. What's the new flavor at DQ? Angry Amico Tears. Oof. There's a lack of sense of humor in that thread. There is. Everyone's offended on Pat's behalf. Dinner calls. And by the way, I don't expect this to get a ton more views. I didn't expect it to get this many. Yeah. I'll have to watch this later. Just remember, boys and girls, the video is not a documentary. It's a commentary on stupidity, hypocrisy, and a few other items. Got to run. All right, take it easy, Genovi. We'll talk later. Full disclosure, Genovi is a friend. I consider him a friend. Here's my thoughts on this whole scandal. Dairy Queen makes good chili dogs and nothing else. Oof. It's all about Lucid Stock Dog, not legal. Brett Weiss. Stocks and crypto are cheap right now. Might as well waste some Burger King money to play a long game. Yeah, but if you're gonna do that, I would wait. Have a number. This is what I do. Again, not financial advice, and I don't know how we got onto this, but I usually have a number in mind. Okay, so if it hits this number, I buy, and if it hits this number, I sell. Right? Those are my 2 points. It's my entry point. That's my exit point. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But at the very least, I know where I'm headed. Right? I know what the goal is. Right? Just buying some stock or just buying some crypto, like, whatever. We'll see what happens in a month, right? No, I kind of watch it, pay attention, see what's going on. But back to the thread here. This is so wrong. Look, I don't know about all the drama with the guidebook, but this Genovi guy is so obviously nursing a grudge. Comparing the guidebook being late to Amico is insane. It's not what he did. Again, it's like taking two things from the video and just like smashing them together. Comparing Pat to Jimmy Savile is just so out of line. I'm just so agog. So agog. Wow, I don't have any interest in watching the video, but yeah, that's really bad. Shame Genovi sunk to that level. Shame. He slipped it right in at the end along with a Trump comparison. Everyone compares everything to Trump, so that's lost all meaning to me. But I think even that is really shady. Seville, that is just really bad faith and ugly. Ugly. Gatoroos, who I like, he's here. He says, it was a nothing burger in my humble opinion. Nothing really stuck for me. Sorry, Genovi. And the Trump and Seville comparisons really left me bewildered. I think if someone already dislikes Pat, this would be confirmation, chum. Otherwise, I'm not sure it would change someone's mind. Though I'm not saying that was the goal. But whatever. It's just drama. Smiley face. Edited to add, while using emulation to review N64 games might be a valid criticism, my take on that was that Pat was mainly saying to use emulation as a way to take consistent screenshots among all the authors. Since Pat's book reviews generally focus on personal memoirs of games from back in the day, I'd imagine anyone asked to write reviews actually played the game extensively on the original hardware when they came out. That would be the hope, but we don't know. We don't know. Murder Alaska, who is the guy who submitted it. It says, I'm glad to hear your perspective as I've come to respect your opinion a lot, Gatoroos. I still cannot believe that Genovi compared Pat to Jimmy Savile, one of the most prolific sexual abusers of all time. It's honestly probably actionable. It's so bad. I don't think it's actionable. I'm pretty sure. Not legal advice, but I'm pretty sure not actionable. You might not like it. You might find it distasteful. But sometimes, you make these kind of things stick in your mind, right? Like you make this comparison in order to drive home a point, right? So let's see. Excuse me, I got to answer this message. One of the moderators at Intellivision Amico is messaging me. All right. Tony, some Genovi haters think you are a shill. Thoughts? They're idiots. Why would I be a shill? Apparently, these people didn't watch the DJ Slopes video, right? Am I not the leader of the gaming races? Does Pat know anyone with a complete N64 collection? Probably not. Oh, hey, any Amico news? Not really. This is like Amico adjacent. Remove all the fluff from the burger. You still have the bun and meat patty. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Right? Down to brass tacks. Pat, he associates with somebody who has had questionable things come up in his past. He's also been involved in questionable dealings. I think that's valid criticism. Jussie said that Genobi video was amazing until he asked for a certain someone to receive their credit. Yeah. Damn that Genobi. I think that's probably because a lot of the people, for whatever reason, a lot of the people on the Amico subreddit don't like me. They just don't like me. So they probably watched it, and that's really what stuck in their craw was that he mentioned me and said, should be giving people credit. And somebody who would be a good no-nonsense advocate for the community would be someone like me. That's probably really where the real issue is. But they're too pussy to say it. Gatoroos replies, yes, that was probably the worst analogy you could possibly draw to liken someone to being two-faced. That's a whole nother galaxy. While more humorous, I also couldn't grasp calling Pat the love child of Donald Trump and Tommy Tallarico. I don't see it. Why can't we all just get along? People pointed that out to him in the comments several times, to which he basically replied that, yeah, it was a bad take in hindsight, and that a TV pastor would probably have been a better comparison instead. I did see that one of the comments and the reply, and I saw one or two other comments that didn't agree, but it was 99% positive comments. How dare 99% of the people who watched the Genobi video like it? Ooh. C. Chrisers says, Ian's thoughts on the Diablo Immortal reaction were taken the wrong way. Since people wrongly assumed that Ian was supporting the company's monetization practices, anyone who watches the podcast know they don't like companies, especially AAA companies, doing this. Those people completely lost the point. No. Ian's comments were a defense of the company, 100%, right? He was telling people to shut up, stop complaining. Don't complain. Just don't buy, right? Just don't buy. That's what they think. You don't like it, just don't buy. Don't complain. When your hobbies are invaded, when your hobbies are turned into something that you don't appreciate, that you don't like, that no longer resemble the things you love, just shut up. Just shut up and sit down. You're rude. Don't be rude to companies. Don't be rude to people trying to change history, trying to change the culture into something that you don't agree with, right? Sit down. That's what Ian was saying. And I 100% disagree with Ian, right? Be loud. Be loud. Be loud within your legal rights, right? I'm definitely not advocating for storming no Capitol buildings. Let's get that straight, right? But I am all for peaceful protests. I'm all for people complaining, people making videos, people pointing out hypocrisy. right? As long as you're being truthful and honest, as long as you're telling the truth and expressing yourself in a legal, safe manner, then go for it. Red shirt guy is a fucking hero, and anyone who says otherwise is a piece of shit. That's my thoughts. And you could use that for your clip show. Ball Shaver Club. Tony should tell him I birthed you all, suck it. Yeah, I should. They know. I think that's part of that also hurts them, right? The fact that I started that's my subreddit. Let's continue on to this trip. That whole thing was honestly the first time I saw people really, really show how dumb they were over a product reveal. See, there you go. Seafoam Gaming, another asshole. We stuck up for Seafoam Gaming. We told people to leave them alone. But Seafoam Gaming don't like us because, again, I supported Trump. I said Trump had some good ideas. I agreed with some of his policies. That makes me evil. All Pat and Ian were doing was pointing out how obscene some of the anger about it, mainly the threats and excessive vocal backlash, was, yet some drama channels acted like CU Podcast beat up their entire family. And then when the final game came out, people pointed and laughed at the stupid microtransactions and moved about their day. Wrong. Oh my God. First off, make some sentences that are shorter. Add some punctuation. Come on, do me a favor. They were not pointing out the obscene anger. When the CU Podcast episode came out, that was a recent event. This wasn't like months later or weeks later, right? This is a few days later. The threats and excessive vocal backlash. First off, I don't know what excessive qualifies, right? And vocal backlash, like I said, be as vocal as you want within the law, within reason, right? Obviously, don't threaten anybody. But they weren't talking about threats. Listen to the episode. They never mentioned anything about threats. They're talking about the event that took place, the people at the event. They were upset that red shirt guy made is this a out of date April Fool's Day joke? And then people clapped. How dare people clap at this guy's rude behavior towards a corporation? Fuck you. And no one moved on. Diablo Immortal has made an insane amount of money. People have not moved on. People have not learned their lesson. I blame all of you. Proving their point on how Immortal really isn't the end of the world. No one ever said it was the end of the world, fucker. Right? This is you trying to make an obscene observation. No one said it was the end of the world. No one said anyone would die because Diablo Immortal was announced. Right? Justy says, I do appreciate Genobi connecting the dots with the Cheetah Man thing. I watched their content at the time and totally went over my head. Dude, if I knew about Pat's involvement in Cheetah Man, my whole perspective would have been different. Dude, that was such a stupid move on Blizzard. No one wanted a mobile game. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. No one wanted a mobile game. People wanted the next Diablo. I'm not a big Diablo fan. I don't play Diablo. But people did want a new Diablo game, and they were excited for that. They thought that's what they're going to get. That off-season joke was funny. It was. Red shirt guy is a hero. Gatoroos, I just went back and rewatched the whole segment, and it's a very reasonable take. Ian takes both the agitators and defenders to task and even says, I'm sure it's going to be full of shitty pay-to-win crap. I don't like mobile games. Yeah, except for the agitators aren't agitators, right? Again, Gatoroos, I like you, but they weren't agitators, right? People are allowed to be upset. People are allowed to say, hey, this is not what we want. We're the consumer. The consumer, the person that buys the product, the person that lines the pockets of these companies, the person that should be listened to, right? And you should cater to your consumer, right? Because then you might lose your consumer. You might lose a whole bunch of money. Publicly traded game companies are almost required to dabble in toxic microtransactions. Not really. They are legally required to chase maximum returns for the shareholders. No, they're not. That's not true. This is a thing that people think. You're not legally required to chase maximum return for your shareholders. What you're legally required to do is to work in a way that makes your shareholders money, right? You're supposed to act in a manner in which you are trying to make profit. Not necessarily the maximum amount. You're not supposed to, you're not legally required to wring out every penny out of your customer. It's a shitty situation, and I applaud people like James Stephanie Sterling for calling them out. But Pat and Ian's reaction is the emotionally healthiest response most of us can have. No, it's not. Fuck Pat and Ian's response. You don't like the product? Then say you don't like the product and move on. Yes, because that works, right? Just move on. Stop making noise. Stop making noise. I'm sure Activision Blizzard are gonna get the lesson, right? They're gonna hear you, and they're gonna say, "Oh, these guys were so nice about their criticism. We should listen to them." Providing ActBliz with free viral marketing for blindly following industry trends is really only throwing up a pathetic drama smokescreen for their continued behavior. Yeah, that's what it did. No, people like you are the reason why it becomes a drama smokescreen. People like you and the games journalist who defend this shit, who call people man babies, who say, "Oh, these toxic man babies don't like Blizzard Immortal." No, yous are the fucking problem. And these are the reason why this shit continues. And you're the reason why fucking microtransactions permeate the medium. Could you imagine you bought a book and say, "Hey, you got this book. We're gonna sell you Christmas Story, right? We're gonna sell you Christmas Carol." Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. But we're not going to give you the ending, right? We're going to give you all the chapters except for the ending. You got to pay us another $5 if you want the ending to the Christmas Carol. And by the way, if you want a version of the Christmas Carol that has little Timmy having a blue crutch, give us another 50 cents. We'll put the word blue right before crutch whenever we talk about it. Could you imagine that? Nobody would go for that. Nobody would buy that shit. Shit would be laughed at. Could you imagine going to a movie? And then when you're in the movie theater, say, "All right, everyone hand in another $1 so we could play the end of the last 10 minutes of the movie." Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But apparently doing that shit with video games, right? That's okay. That's fine. People don't go to BlizzCon to get mobile games. Exactly. It's like going to the Super Bowl and getting a Puppy Bowl instead. Just move on. That's what the Amico people told the haters to do. Exactly. Thank you, Sweet and Tender. I would have missed that connection. Thank you. Right? That's what they told us to do. Just move on, right? It's not a big deal. You don't like it? Just move on. It doesn't bother. It doesn't affect anybody. Best to just say your piece and move on. People don't get it. I remember when the Cheetah Man 2 situation was happening, and more so people were putting the blame on Mike Matei, but I don't remember Pat being included, and I didn't even know about Pat's channel at the time. Among other things, the Amico saga has reminded me that people do not follow the saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Just because two groups share a common enemy, in this case Tommy Tallarico, doesn't guarantee they want to stick together to work against them. I don't have any enemies. This idea that Tommy Tallarico or the Amico or the people who own the Amico are your enemy, that's not me. And I'm pretty sure that's not Genovi's line of thinking either. But I don't want to speak for him. But just for me, I don't have enemies. Tommy's not my enemy. I see things in a this is a right, this is a wrong type thing, right? And what they did was wrong, and I pointed out what they did that was wrong. They're not my enemies. People on the left, see, this is how you know when someone's on the left. And I'm going to be asshole for a moment. But people on the left have this idea that you're enemies. They're enemies. Got to go after them. Got to go after this guy. Got to destroy him, ruin his life, ruin his reputation. Oof. What's the old saying? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the Amico. RTU was the guy who broke the Cheetah Man scandal, being a scam. RTU and Pat come full circle. Yeah. That's probably why Rich was real quick to watch the Genovi video on his live stream. Yeah, it's weird to just lump Pat in with Mike Matei. Bringing up the ancient Loco Bandito comic is really indicative that Genovi has been nursing a grudge for years. Oh, my God. So apparently this is wrong, right? You can't, that was Mike Matei. It was years ago. Guys, it was years ago. Why are you bringing that up? But all you fuckers are quick. How many posts on this in television_Amico are about what Tommy did years ago, are about things Tommy claimed years ago, right? But that local bandito thing, that was years ago. Who cares that Mike Matei was a racist piece of shit and exposed his genitalia to the entire internet, including potentially children who might have followed AVGN? Who cares about that? Who cares that Pat's never called out his friend or never disassociated with him, right? Who cares? That's not a big deal. How are you going to blame Pat for obscure stuff Mike did close to 20 years ago? He's not blaming him. See, again, you're missing the fucking point. What he's saying is Pat never called him out. Pat's quick to call out everybody else. You know, anybody else says anything that Pat doesn't like, calls them out, right? Any behavior that Pat deems unworthy, unsavory, Pat will call it out. But someone who Pat likes, someone who's Pat's friend, we don't talk about that, right? We don't talk about local bandito. No. Have they ever even done a video? I'm surprised the comments on Genovi's video are all pretty much positive. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that people can see the video for what it is. I'm not surprised at all. That just makes him sound as vindictive as many of the people in the Cinemassacre Truth subreddit. The video sounds more like preaching to the choir, going from the positive comments. In his last Amico-related video, Larry Bundy left a comment that was throwing shade at Ian's medical condition, which Genovi liked. And anyone who follows their podcast knows what is up with Larry. I agree with Gatorews, and that I'm not sure this video would change anyone's mind if they already like Pat. I'm friendly with Guru Larry. He was on the show. We did an interview. We talked about the Amico. He talked about Pat, his distaste for Pat, his dislike of Pat. So, Cinemassacre Sims 2. Yeah. Today I learned the Reset Era folks started breaking out of their thread cage. Yeah. You never go full Amico? Never go full Amico. Yo, Ouya, you might want to leave unless you want to get banned from Reddit. Tony, what did the mod message you about? The mod messaged me to say that he's not left-leaning. There is one not left-leaning mod on this subreddit. I won't out the person. I'm not going to out the person, but he's there. Who cares if he's a literal gaming racist? Yeah. Or literal racist who games. Who cares that Mike pulled out his wiener for all ages message? Yeah, it's not a big deal. Don't worry. James Rolfe saying by life. Did he? I've been Pat red pilled. You've been Pat pilled. You've been Genovi pilled. That's what it was. Genovi should do an AVGN video. He swept things under the rug too. Yeah, but has AVGN called anybody out, right? That was the whole premise, right? Pat has called Tommy out. He's called others out for the behavior. And then he didn't call out this particular person. He's a hypocrite, right? That was the whole premise of the video. So if AVGN has acted in a similar manner, then I guess a video is something that Genovi should look into. But if he hasn't, if AVGN just has not called anybody out, he just does his own shit, then no. Can I like Pat knowing he's thin-skinned and knows he holds a grudge like me ex-girlfriends? Maybe. I literally owe everything I am to AVGN for sure. I've never actually watched AVGN. Everybody always talks about AVGN and how awesome he is, blah, blah, blah. I've never actually watched an angry video game nerd thing. So, all right, let's get through this. I didn't know Genovi was a gossip monger. YouTuber on YouTuber drama is dumb. It's been posted here twice and downvoted for a lack of interest and or being off topic. Yeah, it's been downvoted because you guys fucking suck at the fucking cock of Pat. Seafoam Gaming is back again. If there's one thing I feel is certainty after watching this dumpster of a console for years, is that anyone who's discovered this console makes their video channel based on popular because of an Amico video almost always ends up diving deep into the far right rabbit hole at some point. Far right rabbit hole, guys. Clearly, we know where Seafoam Gaming stands. Pat seems to be the exception because he knows this sort of shit due to prior stuff like the Chameleon. The fact he got buddy-buddy with some of the biggest known alt-right shitheads who shield the console, rallied against it, honestly led me to unsubscribe on the spot. I wonder who he's talking about. I'm guessing that would be me and the Retro Bro. I like some of his other non-Amico videos. That big one he made, but it seems the recent gap in uploading did something to make him go low. Sad. The Jimmy Seville line is on the same tier as shit Tommy says at this point. Mike is a shitheel, but I don't know why he was trying to pretzel Pat and Ian into it, or even get upset at how they dunked on Brett. Oh, man. Seafoam Gaming. Yeah, the whole thing with Pat throwing Brett on the bus, basically what he was saying was either Pat knowingly made a book of subpar quality in order to meet a deadline that he self-imposed, or Pat thought that Brett's writing was good and then at some point decided to take Brett out of the book for other reasons that were not based on Brett's writing ability. Hiring author Brett Weiss to write some NES reviews was an atrocity on par with the Holocaust. Pat Mengele. It's an interesting comparison, James, but I wouldn't go that far. I don't know if it was not quite that far. I switched from Democrat to Republican after getting into Amico. It happens. It happens. Potion Sword Run says, never understood the AVGN obsession. I never watched an episode, though. Just thought he was one of the first retro YouTubers, and that was that. He was the first angry guy. He was the first, look at this game is bad, and I'm mad, and oh my God, it's so stupid. I seen clips, never thought he was funny. That's why I've never watched an episode, because the clips I seen just weren't funny. It's not my kind of humor. SoCal Big Mike says, I'm really disappointed in Genovi. It was a weird video and tapped out after like 20 minutes. How do you know it was a weird video if you only watched 20 minutes of it? Rando Muffin, it's weird, but with the Petty Pat video, maybe he has it coming. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Pat's an asshole, don't get me wrong, but having Trash JT in it, seriously, Trash JT, just walk away, try to be the better man. I think having Smash JT in it was a bad look unless, right? And there's the unless, right? It's a bad look unless you have him voice Pat. Because you know Pat doesn't like Smash, right? So that was like an extra little haha, extra little ding on Pat that we got Smash JT to voice you. It's weird. Okay, we read that one. I did post the video, but it was removed. The mods also said that it was like the third time they removed it. So people here do want to talk about it. It's just that maybe the mods feel it's not the most appropriate a place, or don't want to give the video attention or something. Yeah, that's what it is. They don't want to give the video attention because God forbid anyone take Pat off of his pedestal. I can see why. The video is one of the most legally questionable in terms of slander I've seen online. Really? I've seen people directly call people sex offenders and other unsavory terms. So you probably haven't seen a lot of videos, Murder Alaska. I am still soaking in how people could sink this low based on a video game guide. It's disgusting. What do you mean soaking? Like these fucking panties are all wet? It's fucking soaking. I don't. Is this some sort of comment that I'm too boomer to understand? Tony get drunk and stoned and then watch it. No, I don't drink or do drugs. So no. Who is CRG? CGR. CGR would come next. Don't know what that is. So this is actually like the fifth time posted? Yeah. Joshua Perez says, so glad Pat is being exposed for being a massive hypocrite. Yeah. Soaking like a dick in a vag, not moving, just soak, I guess. Sensible is going to send them a long-winded message. He is. He's going to send them a long-winded message. He's probably going to send me a message later. You're bad. George Balduzzi says, yeah, when I made my original post, my opinion was that while the video did raise some valid points, several of the other claims were so far-fetched that they pretty much lost all credibility gain. Like trying to portray Pat to be the pro corporation just because he has done ads. So does that make every YouTuber who monetizes their channel pro corporation, including Genovi himself, because his video has ads on it? There's a difference between ads. See, this is where stupidity shouldn't be allowed to type. There is a stark difference between ads on a video and sponsorships. You took sponsorships from big corporations, right? You say you're anti-big corporation, you're pro-little guy, right? But you'll gladly take money to peddle pro-corporation bullshit, right? You'll gladly take money to promote Manscaped, to promote fucking Magic Spoon, Dollar Shave Club, whatever the fuck it is, right? You're glad to take that money. You can't sit there and rally against these type of corporations and what they do with the left hand and then right hand take money from them, right? Now, if Pat and Ian never had this anti-corporation bias, they never were like, hey, big companies are shit, support the little guy. They never had this kind of attitude, then there'd be no big deal, right? I would agree with you. But they have that attitude. They have that. And so it is a fair criticism to say, hey, if you don't like big companies, why are you allowing big companies to sponsor your podcast? You have control over that. This is not an ad on the video. This is not YouTube selling advertising space on your video. This is you taking money from a big company to promote a product. Right? There's plenty of little companies out there. There's plenty of small mom and pop companies that would gladly pay for a spot on a podcast like the CU podcast. But they probably can't pay as much, right? Yeah. Only Pat and his fanboys are hating on the video? Probably. Full-on shilling the minute, hey, check out the cereal and testicle shaver kits. CRG is an old school YouTuber who did really sloppy quick game reviews, but he made so many and had a good camera, he became very popular and still got videos to pop up on. So he's like DSP, right? Because DSP was one of the first. That's probably why he got it. Make gamers smell great again? Yeah. I like Pat and I like the Genovi upload. Ooh, you got to pick. You got to pick a side, Justy. So does that blah blah blah. Also, obviously, the comparison with Jimmy Savile, having Smash do Pat's voiceover is just not it. No matter how you look, I thought it was funny. Well, it didn't really have anything to do with the Amico or people shillong for the Amico. Pat is on the other side, and the video was not Amico related outside the people it has brought together to people. Same reason the Slot Ham video was taken down. Not surprised, to be honest. Dude was in good graces with Smash 18 and Retro Bro and stuff. So, yeah, guy's a tool. Don't be friends with the Retro Bro or Smash. You're a tool. I like both Genovi and Pat. Biggest revelation is Pat only had 8 SNES games, did not own an N64, and is mostly just a collector. A big hit on his Nintendo cred. The rest of the stuff about his hypocrisy, you kind of expect a little bit of that when there's money involved. And he's not a scammer, so I don't really think I see the point of half of the video. And the last comment here, anyone who's buddy-buddy with Smash JT is a clown and irrelevant. Opinion not valid. Gotta love those open-minded people. We don't cancel people. We don't want to get rid of them. But if you're yucking it up with that evil Knievel, then get out of the kitchen. No yucking it up. No yucking it back on both cams. Yeah. Make the retro community great again. Yeah. Sounds good. I agree. All right. What do we got? We got one more little thing here. Warner Brothers blames James Gunn's DC reboot for some of Shazam 2's poor performance. Report. Yeah, I don't know if this is all James Gunn's fault. I mean, it seems like an easy target, right? James Gunn says there's going to be a reboot. And so people were like, hey, this movie doesn't really mean anything, so let's not go see it, right? I don't know. I'm on the fence, but let's see what the direct has to say. Shazam! Fury of the Gods proved to be a massive disappointment at the box office, and Warner Brothers Discovery seems to think James Gunn and Peter Safran's upcoming DC reboot may be to blame. Again, if you're going to lay blame for Shazam's poor box office, marketing, the villain was not really, from my understanding, I haven't seen the movie, but from my understanding, Lucy Liu's the main villain, even though Helen Moran is kind of marketed as the main villain in the movie. 2, Black Adam was a disaster. It was a clusterfuck, having Henry Cavill come back and then having to be like, well, Henry Cavill's not really going to be Superman moving forward, even though he was in Black Adam. That's kind of a bad look. Then the idea with The Rock not wanting to be in Shazam, not wanting to have anything to do with Shazam, that kind of hurt the movie. But sure, let's blame James Gunn. As Gunn and Safran chart course to launch the first projects in Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, the final projects of the old DC regime continue to trickle out, with Shazam 2, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2 panning out this year's slate. Kicking off the year was Fury of the Gods, which suffered the worst DCEU opening ever, even coming in below Birds of Prey, which released right as the COVID-19 pandemic was kicking off in 2020. Director David F. Sandberg reacted to the disappointment as he shared his shock at Shazam 2's negative reviews. So there you go. So the negative reviews had nothing to do with the upcoming DCU, right? The negative reviews were like, this movie's bad. The movie is just bad. Make a good movie. If the movie was good, people would have watched it regardless of whether or not it connected with the DCU upcoming, right? And his lack of surprise at the sequel's poor box office results, revealing it was somewhat expected. According to the report from The Wrap, Warner Brothers Discovery may be blaming the box office disappointment of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, at least partially, on James Gunn's upcoming DCU reboot. The sequel is projected for a 35 to 38 million domestic opening, already far below the 53.5 million of 2019 Shazam, but ultimately left its March 17 first weekend with just 30.5 million domestic and 65.5 million worldwide. Oof. The Wrap sources claim reaching the 35 million projection would have been taken as a reasonable outcome for WB, but the studio thinks Gunn's upcoming reboot dipped general audience interest in Shazam 2 in the existing universe. I don't think so. Again, general audiences don't give a shit about this stuff. When you're talking general audience, you're talking people that are not invested, not nerds, not fucking geeks, not longtime DC fans. You're talking about just people who like movies. And I'm sorry, but Shazam 2 did not look like a good movie. And apparently it was not a good movie, right? Joshua Perez says it's not a bad movie. I've heard it was a bad movie. It's not bad. It's just pointless. No one wanted a Shazam sequel. Well, there you go. Critics thought it was bad, right? Critics said it was bad. And that's what people look for when they're like, hey, what did the critics say? Critics said it was bad. DCU just suck in general. This is true. This is true. Let's see what else I gotta say. That being said, the studio is said to believe Gunn and Safran's new rebooted projects will also be able to overcome this hurdle when it gets underway, with the first release said to be coming to Max in 2024. What I'm hearing from this report, what I'm hearing is not that they're actually blaming James Gunn. What I'm hearing is, hey guys, this movie underperformed, and the rest of the movies are probably going to underperform. But that's okay, because once the reboot happens, people are going to come back to theaters, right? This is actually, this is a result indirectly of us rebooting the universe. Once we do that, the movies are going to start making tons of money. Don't panic, is what I'm getting at, right? This is a whole like, hey, don't panic. We're gonna have movies underperform for a while because of X reasons. But don't worry. 50% of the critics like the movie. Yeah. Yeah, Justy did get trolled. Justy sent me a thing. He goes, "Can you believe this? I'm done with DCU." It was a parody website, Twitter account that was saying that Michael Cera was going to be Superman. I was like, no. You got to check. You got to check that stuff. Those journalists are butthurt at James Gunn because he always proves them wrong. Yeah. It's funny because they hate James Gunn and they loved him. You know, when he was getting canceled, they hated him. But then when people who were like, hey, we don't cancel James Gunn, they're like, oh, we love James Gunn now. Because Hollywood loves James Gunn. It's just so weird. By Sunday, April 9, 4 weekends into its box office run, the movie was sitting at just $56.6 million domestic. By contrast, at the same period of time in 2019, Shazam had grossed $131.2 million, roughly 2.3 times the amount. Fury of the Gods was reportedly made on a $100 million production budget, and with the current worldwide total of $128.6 million, the movie is currently looking at a major loss once theaters take their cut and other costs are factored in. 2019 Shazam performance was already nothing insane with a $367.3 million worldwide box office, but still, according to Deadline, managed to turn a profit of around $74 million, as was made on a relatively low budget. With James Gunn's upcoming DCU reboot now being common knowledge after the 10-project slate announcement, expectations were low going into Shazam 2. This was only further hindered by a minimal and lackluster marketing campaign that even resorted to spoiling the sequel's Wonder Woman cameo by the end. DC still has 3 projects left from the old regime to release this year: The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2. And one has to wonder whether they will face similar struggles to Shazam 2 and if the upcoming reboot is indeed a hindrance. Again, I don't think it was the reboot that hindered the movie. I think it was the movie that hindered the movie. If the movie was better, then it would have made more money. It's funny how everyone pretends Peter Safran doesn't exist. He's also CEO of DC. Yeah, but I think because James Gunn is in charge of the making the films and Peter Safran's in charge of the business aspect, they don't really blame Safran, right? Potion says, I'm watching on Xbox and commenting on my laptop. I'm going to let a 3-minute ad run. Well, thank you. Thank you, Potion. Jonah Hill rumored to be the next Superman. Oh, hell yeah. Can I quote you? Potion Sword Run is now in he's moving on from the drama. He's moving on from the neighborhood, and he's now going to be a scooper. Jonah Hill, next Superman. I believe it. Reports from test screenings have already indicated Aquaman 2 may be a boring downgrade from the billion-dollar 2019 original. In an age where quality and word of mouth continues to impact audience turnout, combined with a reboot factor and the Amber Heard controversy, Aquaman 2 may face a flop too. Warner Brothers Discovery essentially left Shazam 2 out to dry with minimal effort placed in its marketing, and one has to wonder whether Aquaman 2 may see the same treatment. Although that movie may receive slightly more favor as it tries to capitalize on its Christmas release and replicate the original's massive box office success. Oh my God. The Flash has a big leg up at the box office and being a massive event movie that features both Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton's Batman, as this is a multiverse movie in an age where those are all the rage. Combined with the setting up the reboot and apparently being the best DC movie since the Dark Knight trilogy, it's easy to see The Flash becoming the Blues brand's biggest hit of the year. I don't know, with the Ezra Miller controversy, and again, if the movie's not good, then it's just going to fail, right? On the other end of the spectrum, Blue Beetle appears to be a far smaller movie that will introduce a brand new hero to DCU. There has even been talk that this may be the first movie in the DC. There has even been talk that this may be the first movie in the rebooted DC universe. If that becomes part of Blue Beetle's marketing after The Flash provides that reset, it could perform well. I thought Blue Beetle, the trailer looked okay. It was funny. There was a lot of Latino-ness in the movie. Will that translate to box office success? Probably not. If Coco is anything to go by, it's probably not going to translate well. But I liked it. DJC rumored to be Calendar Man, where he'll give us no updates every holiday. Just tells you that something's going to happen. 2 weeks. Even listening to James Gunn's DCU Chapter 1 slate announcement video, the filmmaker only had some offhand comments to offer about Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2. Meanwhile, he praised both The Flash and Blue Beetle as fantastic films, suggesting they may see more favor internally at the studio. What happens if James Gunn's reboot fails? Once DC concludes its 2023 slate with Aquaman 2 in December, it won't have another superhero blockbuster until James Gunn kicks off his slate properly in 2025 with Superman Legacy starring Michael Cera, except for Joker 2, although that perhaps the furthest thing from a traditional comic book movie. Taking a break in 2024 ought to help serve as a reset in the eyes of the fans. So it's clear when the DCU properly gets underway in 2025 that it's a new universe. With the animated Max series Creature Commando set to arrive in 2024 as the first entry in the DCU, perhaps that will help serve as a transition between universes. But one has to wonder, what if Superman Legacy ultimately flops when it finally arrives in 2025 to kick the DCU into action? Well, that would certainly be a signal that the brand damage done to DC over the years with disappointing movies and incohesive franchises may be too severe to fix with just a reboot. Fuck. Why can't I read? If Gunn's Superman and subsequent DCU movies were to flop, perhaps the only option would be to give up on a connected universe for the Blue brand, at least for a while, until fans can forget the past. But one can only hope that won't be what happens, and this begins a prosperous new era for DC. Okay. Jesus Christ, are you just going to keep going? How long is this fucking article? Zachary Levi is not going to survive. He's not going to be Shazam. They're getting rid of his ass. That's the end of that. Jesus Christ. Why does James Gunn look like Rachel Maddow? Have you seen James Gunn and Rachel Maddow in the same room at the same time? I don't know. Batman is a fascist? I thought that line was funny. Meanwhile, the Batman and the Joker were extremely successful standalone movies. They were. But Batman just prints money, and the Joker was a one-off. I don't think the Joker sequel is going to do that well. I think the Joker, when it came out, it was right time, right place. So, we'll see. I haven't actually seen the Joker movie. As you might have guessed, I am not a huge DC fan. I'm more of a Marvel guy. All right. We got one more thing to do, and that's go over polls. So let me get that up. Apparently, everybody's commenting on my latest short. Some people say it looks delicious. Some people say the food looks disgusting. I think it looked good. Tasted great. It was fantastic. But let's get to the community. And let's see what people have to say about these damn polls. All right. Where are we at? Joshua Perez says Joker is an okay movie. Phoenix performance is the only good thing. That's what I hear. All right. So I said, what is the biggest problem on YouTube? Your choices were ads, e-beggars, clickbait, drama, or the algorithm. Shockingly, 146 votes and 28% ads took this poll. The algorithm, second place with 23%. Clickbait was third place with 17%, and then e-beggars and drama tied it with 16%. Now, if we go into the comments, because there was a lot of comments where people said, I need that money. I really do to pay my bills, DSP. Tommy Miko says, to me, the ads, because they're often misleading or scams, the ads run on music more than anyone, even if we aren't monetized. So I end up making a song that's anti-scam, and my people have to watch a scam ad video before. Oof. Dragon Chaser Kev says, I use ad block and have no ads. I say censorship and lies propaganda are the biggest issue. Myself in comics, this was tough, but I put algorithm because I believe it should improve. But I also shouldn't be getting full music videos as ads. What the flan? Decam Agag says, I'll get invisible ads on comic sites and listen to someone's awful song. Yeah, I hate those ads that like pop up in the corner and then they start playing fucking. Don't autoplay ads. XX No says ads, huge amount of scams, and honestly, an embarrassing way for people to try to sell in the age of inbound marketing. Bellstar brings up censorship. I can't even swear in the comments anymore. Also, copyright enforcement, but that affects the entire internet. Robbie says, I recommend Revanced if you think ads are a big problem on YouTube. Dividends Prime. Literally, there are a few second ads and a few second videos. Joshua Perez says the biggest problem is the copyright system. It's awful. I'm going to make sure that I didn't miss anything because YouTube has a habit of hiding people's comments. So then I put the post up about Bob not being on the channel anymore. We're not going into it. Those of you who know. Those of you who don't know, you don't know. Potion says your food almost always looks gross, honestly. It does. But they're delicious, right? Most of my meals, like delicious food that's nutritious, are not necessarily good looking. 2 pieces of lamb cooked in the oven with some vegetables, not going to be the most appealing. A bunch of tuna slopped into a bowl with mayonnaise and some mustard, not going to be really appealing, but it's delicious. Tony never disappoints and zags on popular stuff. Tony, we need more meatball short. Those are my favorite. I voted e-beggars because it leads to clickbait uploads. You know what I should have put as one of the choices? Big YouTubers ignoring the chat unless you pay them money. Speaking of which, I haven't got a super chat this whole 1 hour and 47 minutes. So, I mean, come on. If Tony doesn't have French fries in his shorts, then I know it's not him recording it. Well, I'm not going to have French fries in any of my shorts anymore, Justy, because I'm back on the no carbs, no sugar diet. I'm just going to be eating meat, vegetables, cheese. Ignoring chat to get money is smart. It is. I must be dumb because I talk to you guys and I appreciate the back and forth we have. All right. So there was a Canadian gamer upload. I know Canadian gamer is a little troll, but he made an upload saying these are tips for the retro gamer or for the gamer's love life, right? If dating tips, it was like dating tips for gamers. And one of those tips was don't tell your potential mate that you're a video gamer, right? So I asked, do you hide your gaming habits from friends and family? 116 votes. 15% of you said yes. 85% of you overwhelmingly said no. No, you don't hide it. There's no reason to hide it, right? They should love you for who they are. Finbar says it's impossible to hide them since they're both usually in the same room as me when I'm playing games. I usually just try to avoid eye contact. XX No says no, but I keep my life-size Tommy Tallarico patent eternally pending. Love doll, a closely guarded and well-lubed secret. Robbie says I don't hide them from friends or family, though I might if I was spending too much money and time on games. Abelov says now I'm proud of my Republic investment with the Amico. Yeah, I don't hide them. It does no good. Why? If you hide them, then you're essentially agreeing that it's something to be ashamed of, right? hiding your games, hiding your gaming habits. You're basically saying, I am ashamed of doing this. I know it's bad. I shouldn't be doing it, right? Drug addicts hide their behavior. Drunks hide their behavior. People doing unsavory things hide their behavior. Video games are mainstream. You shouldn't hide that shit. Now, I'm not saying you should be playing 15 hours a day and skipping showers, breakfast, and lunch, right, to play video games. No, I'm not saying that. That's a little excessive. You should probably get some help. But what I'm saying is you should be proud of what you do. This is your hobby, right? Whether you're going to the park to play basketball, whether you're going out with the fellas, sightseeing, hiking, or playing video games. It's all the same, right? In moderation, and they should appreciate you for what you do. Justy says, I left Spawnwave when Smash stopped being a mod for the chat because Spawnwave ignores the chat. My games are weirdly hidden in a bin like Afro Gamer Dude. Nah. If Tony made it big, I might going to take offense if he starts doing donation-only chats. Look, I will never turn down a super chat. If you want to give me money to talk to me or to tell me something, or you really need my attention, or you just want to support the channel because you like the content that I make, I will gladly accept your money. However, I will never, ever require your money in order for me to pay attention to the chat. Now, I understand we only got 13 people here now. We're not the biggest channel, right? If at some point we become big enough that we have 100, 200, 300 people in a chat, I will do my best. I'll put a slow mode on, and I will do my best to still provide you guys with the same amount of interaction, the same amount of back and forth. And you know that I have a very good memory. The frog never forgets, okay? I never forget. So all you guys in the chat right now, the Justies, the Potion Sword Runs, the Sweet and Tender Hooligans, 56K Warnings, Joshua Perez's, right? I'm going to recognize all your names. I'm going to know all you guys. I'm going to remember all you guys. And when we hit 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, a million subscribers one day, I'm always going to remember you guys from here, from now, from the beginning. So I'll never, ever ignore you. While I might end up ignoring inadvertently some of the newer people that have jumped on the bandwagon some years down the line, you guys who were here at the beginning will never, ever be ignored. God damn it, I just dropped my microphone. I'm never going to ignore you guys, is what I'm saying. So yeah. Also, I will make that money. Would I say the N-word for a $50 super chat? No. No. That's way too low. Wow. You want me to damage my reputation and my career for $50? Fuck no. That's at least 100. At least. And if we're talking hard R, 150. Did I drop the mic? No, I dropped the mic because I waved my hand. You can't see me, but I am very expressive with my hands, and I waved my hand, and I hit my microphone. I can't wait till we hit 1 million subs. Me too. Juan Fitty for feed streams? No. 250, yeah. You give me 250, sweet. I will drop the N-word right now. Right on stream. I will say Nagasaki for $250. Don't worry. All right. 3 days ago, I said, how many gaming generations back does a system have to be in order for it to be called retro? This one, shocking. 99 votes. I gave you the choices 2 generations back, 3 generations, 4 generations, 5, or 6 generation back as the minimum to be considered retro. And somehow, overwhelmingly, 46%, almost half, 3 generations back. So we're talking PS2 era, right? What are we at now? We're at the 6th generation, so we're talking 3rd generation of consoles, something like that. Tony, I have a question. At too many games, are you wearing a name tag? No, I'm gonna have a frog mask, so don't worry. They'll know who I am. All right, so let's get to the comments. Like I said, 3 generations back was 46%. Second place was 4 generations back with 24%. 2 generations back, which is a shock that it got 21%. 5 generations back only got 3. 6 generations back got 5%. MS Shuru says, I just turned 30 last month, so I grew up on PS1 and 64 Game Boy Color. To me, anything before that is retro, and that answer will be the same no matter how many consoles generations we go through. 56K Warning says, Angry Birds on iOS going to be retro soon. I know. Fuck. Robbie JVC says, 2 generations, PS4 and PS3 360 are retro now. I don't think the PS4 is retro now. The PS4, we're barely on the 5. How are you going to go 1 generation back, Robbie? Finbar, currently retro is 3 generations back. So PlayStation 2 and below. This measurement should be fluid, however, and not a set rule. A console should only be considered retro when it no longer receiving firmware updates serviced by the company on the hardware side or supported in online game sales via the online store. Currently, you can still buy limited software on PS3's online store, and it does still receive firmware updates. So PlayStation 2, which no longer supported in any way, shape, or form by Sony, is now retro. PS3 is not yet. This is a good point. This is a good answer. I like this, Finbar. You know, if the system's still active, if they're still updating it, if they're still allowing you to buy games online, download, you know, servers are up, then I can see the point that it's not retro. It's not quite retro yet. Vortex says, wait, Tony, why do I have a blue star near my name? It's because you're a member. Not really relevant to the conversation we're having, but there you go. There you go. All right. What do we got? We got another one. I thought we only had one more. We got 2 more polls. Look at it. 69 votes. Should we cover gaming or movie rumors on the channel? 78% said yes. Go ahead. Cover rumors. 22% said no. Don't cover rumors. Joshua Perez says PS3 and Xbox 360 still have online servers running, so not retro. Yeah. 56 says cutoff is PS2. Justy says I put 3 gens back, so that PS2. Yep. PS2. Because of me having 2 kids, I'd say 360 is retro. I miss those long gaming sessions. I just lock the kids in the closet. Don't worry. 56K when it says 360 and PS3 lasted 2 generations. Yeah, it's true. That's true. That's why I said gaming generations and not like actual generations. All right, last poll question. 142 votes. How did more of you? I'm shocked, but also very, very grateful that more people cared about me drinking Monster energy drinks versus whether or not we cover rumors, how many generations back is retro, if you hide your gaming habits. The only one with 4 more votes was the biggest problem on YouTube, and that poll was 5 days old. 5-day-old poll had 146 votes, but a one day old poll, 142 votes. Should I stop drinking Monster energy drinks? This poll will be binding. So there it is. 77% said yes. I anticipated this. I didn't buy a single can of Monster energy drink. So my house right now is Monster energy drink free. Nothing. I've had none today. and I'm going to have none tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have none ever again. I'll never drink another Monster. It's binding. It's legally binding. You guys made it happen. Beefy says, yeah, stop with the Monster. I'm going to. We were thinking of Miko, Tony. Yeah. So, no more Monster. Like I said earlier in the show, the back of my head has been hurting. I think it's from too much caffeine. I'm definitely drinking way too many. It's gotten to the point where I'm drinking like 3.5. When I say 3.5, because I go, you got the regular can size, then the bigger can size. What is this? How many ounces is it in a Monster can? Why is this not fucking? Okay, Monster can ounces 16. So 16 ounces is the regular can size, and I think it's 24 is the bigger one. Yeah, 24 is the bigger one. So I went from one 16-ounce can to two 16-ounce cans to three 16-ounce cans, which is what, 30, 48 ounces of Monster, which is insane, right? And then that wasn't even enough. The 48 wasn't enough because I went to two 16 ounces, right, which is 32, plus a 24 ounce, which is 56 ounces of Monster. I drink them like I do, man. I don't drink them like a normal person. Like I don't drink them as a supplement. I drink them like, okay, I'm having a meal, Monster, right? Thirsty, I want something to drink, get a Monster. So I'm, like I said, 3 and 4 a day. That's what I'm saying, Justy. It's a fucking problem. Isn't there something to Monster and say that? Yeah. That was some like weird thing. Like it's an M, and if you see it, it's like Satan's pitchfork or some shit. And I tried Bang before. I didn't like it. Drink energy drinks on the weekend? No. If I did it as a treat, I know myself. I don't have good self-control over things like that. And I'll be like, I'll just have it on a Monday. Oh, I got an extra can. I'll just drink it. And the next thing you know, I'll just be back in the habit. Caffeine OD and withdrawals are a thing. I know they are. I'm not stupid. I'm going to go through both of them. I've probably been really agitated today. And I'm going to be really agitated tomorrow, which is good that there's no show tomorrow. What's my heart rate? Low. I have low blood pressure and a low heart rate. I also have a heart condition that's been undiagnosed. So, at any moment, my heart could have exploded. And I'd be dead. That's right. I mean, I had like 3 doctors look at my EKG, and they didn't know what was wrong with my heart. And they're like, you should go to a specialist. And I was like, nah, fuck all that. Can I work? And they're like, yeah, just work. Like, yeah, all right. If you're tired, you don't want to eat or drink, and just wants to nap, yeah. Drinking 48 ounces of Monster, that qualifies for stupid. Yeah, well, then what is drinking 56 ounces qualify me as? Right? Because there's been days where I've drank 56 ounces. I literally, the other day, drank a 24-ounce can of Monster, then followed that up with a 16-ounce of Monster. Right? RGT 85's health problems should be a wake-up call for gamers. Dude rather die than go to the hospital. Yeah, I don't go to the hospital, but that's another thing, right? I'm Latino. Latinos don't go to the hospital. We're not. 56 is going full Telerico. Oh. That's me. Start working out. I have. Thank you, Sweet and Tender. And I'm bringing back Kool-Aid. It's funny you say that, but Sidekick Max actually drinks Kool-Aid. And he makes Kool-Aid. The way Sidekick Max makes the Kool-Aid, it's so weak. Right? It's like you could see through the Kool-Aid. It's clear. It's like only a hint of Kool-Aid sugar. Like when we used to make it back in the day, you put so much sugar that it's fucking cloudy. It's opaque. You can't see through it. It's fucking. You take one thing of fucking Kool-Aid, glass, and you're all fucking wired all day. That's how I cut soda from my diet. Was Crystal Light. I use Mio, the little water thing, the water additive. It's 0 carbs, 0 sugar. That's what I switched to. But Tony, a tiny light of speed is compared to all of it. What? Are you on drugs, Dawson? 56-ounce warning. Yeah. So yeah. So there you go. 41 comments. You guys really were up on this. Sort by new to make sure we get it all in there. Yes, sort of. I mean, you don't need to stop. If I suggested you stop completely, that would make me a hypocrite because I drink them on occasion. But maybe not to try to drink so many that you could build a scale model of the Power Rangers Megazord out of the empty cans. Yeah. Right now, the desk is clear. There's not a single monster can on my desk. I can see it. It looks weird. Joseph Santos says, salts, vitamins, and minerals add up over time. You'll hate how you feel if you keep drinking them. Dude, I've been drinking Monsters literally. I actually found this out the other day because I didn't know. I didn't realize. But when I was like 15, I was drinking Hanson's Energy. And I didn't realize that Hanson's Energy actually turned into the Monster company. So I've literally been drinking Monsters since I was 15. Tony is cutting Monster for when he meets Minty at too many games. You know it. A small amount of carbs and sugar won't hurt nothing. Again, it is. I don't have self-control, right? When something is delicious, like if I eat a brownie, if I eat a cookie, right? Like most people can eat a cookie out of the cookie package, and they're happy. If I eat a cookie, I'm like, I want another cookie. And then I want another cookie. And next thing you know, I've eaten like 6 or 7 cookies. So I just I got to cut it out. Evil should do that with booze. He should. We've told them. He should at least cut back. We should buy him Old Duels. The non-alcoholic. Stop being fat mentally. Put that cookie down. I've completely cut out carbs, sugar. We're just going meat and vegetables from now on. And no caffeine. So it's going to be tough. We're going to try to get through it. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. CM Retro says, yes, monsters are nasty. You should drink 2 bangs a day. It'll put hair in your chest. I tried bangs. I was like 4 different flavors I tried. I didn't like them. Michael Towns, even you imported it. I can guarantee it'd probably be healthier. I don't know what that means, Michael Towns. Myself in Comics says, please. Tommy Umiko, switch to free trade organic black coffee. I don't like coffee. I hate coffee. Dean M, do whatever feels good to you. CGH says bad for your heart. As I said earlier, my heart was really bad. So, Josh Simpsons, I can't imagine any way those things are good for you, and they are pricey. Yeah, that's true. I buy the 12-pack, so I save like $8. You Super J says black coffee. Potion Sword Run, that shit will give you diabetes. You gotta have diabetes. Shane says try Full Throttle or Prime. Monster is trash. And then Yanks also said start drinking Prime. Not going to be doing any of those. Not going to be doing any of those. And that was everything. That was our polls. That was our show. I said it was going to be a short show somehow. I got 2 hours by myself. Wow. Make sure you eat at a specific time every day. Routine is a key for breaking the habit. Yeah. So what are you going to do with the extra money? I don't know. A Latino discount? Tony has to cut out tortillas. No soft tacos. No, any tacos, not just soft. Because hard shell is corn tacos. Corn has a bunch of sugar in it and a bunch of carbs. Basically, everything that Mexican people eat, I have to cut out. No tacos, no enchiladas, no fucking burritos, nothing. I can't even eat beans, no frijoles. I can't be a beaner because I can't eat no beans. Good show, Tony. Well rounded too. Thank you, Potion. I tried. We're a little low energy, like I said. A little irritated, not feeling so good. Probably withdrawal, if I'm gonna be honest. You don't go from 56 ounces of Monster to 0 without having some sort of effect on your body. But we will be back Monday to do some movie talk. I'm still organizing some guys to see about doing a wrestling thing. So either Tuesday or Thursday we'll do wrestling. Wednesday is Amico Forever, obviously. Thursday, movies again. Friday, we're trying to get the guys back together to do a Neil Breen watch along. Hopefully, that happens. If there is no Neil Breen watch along on Friday, then I will be playing some video games. Speaking of playing video games, tomorrow, that's right, Sunday, we're going to play a little Capcom Disney Afternoon Collection. We got Darkwing Duck, Rescue Rangers. We got, the hell's that? DuckTales, and DuckTales 2. It's there's like 6 games on the collection. So we're going to play some games tomorrow. Hopefully I'm not crazy. Hopefully the withdrawals do not get me and I'm not irritated. Just don't be on the internet during your withdrawals. You might send people feed pics for a hit. Nah. What's up with the 52 game challenge? Oh, so I am up to 22 games already. I think we're like at the 15th week of the year. Let's see. What week is this? What week are we in? So, according to this, we are we're in the 16th week. This week starts at Sunday, April 16th, to Saturday, April 22nd. So tomorrow will start the 17th week of the year. I am at 22 games. Last night I beat Mother Russia Bleeds and 99 Vitas. So I knocked out 2 games yesterday. I think I'm at the end of my solitaire game. Awesome. Thank you, Wisp. I will try to feel better. Was a nice homey feeling around the campfire tonight. It's good. I'm glad. Josh Perez, I beat in 3 games. 56K, I just beat Tales of Iron. I have that. It came free with the PlayStation Plus. Is that good, 56K? I was looking at it, but I wasn't sure if I was going to play it. So I'm still in the beating game challenge. Hell yeah. Come on, you can do it. It's about the experience, right? I know some people blinded and then we're like, how can you enjoy these games? How can you enjoy, playing so many? I don't need to platinum a game to enjoy it. I don't need to get all the ins and outs, right? I can play a game like a Mother Russia Bleeds. I love beat 'em ups. It's a great game, great experience. And then just move on. Nice. I'm working on 20 Super Metroid. Awesome. I'm mixing in some modern, some older games. like I said, I'm just running through. I got 500, and it's 500 games on my PlayStation back catalog. But some of those games are actually collections, so it's 500 with an asterisk, right? Because it's really like, I think it's, when I counted them individually, it's really closer to 600. So I really got to work through it, and that's part of why I'm doing this, is try to work through some of these games. Some of them I'm probably never going to play because they were free with PlayStation Plus. I actually had no interest in them, but they were just free with my monthly 2-3 games a month. I just beat Kirby. Does that count? Kirby counts extra because Tommy hates Kirby, so that's a bonus. You get a Kirby bonus for that. So many gems with indie titles on PC. Yeah, but I don't play on PC. So, all right. I think that's it. Evil was supposed to have a stream. You do need to play me some Magic the Gathering. We'll set that up. We'll set that up, Beefy. I will take you down. Like I said, Evil Streams was supposed to have a stream that was started at 7:30. Apparently that never happened. So maybe he'll start streaming later. But who knows? But I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow. I know each and every one of you will be here in chat as I'm playing Darkwing Duck on the Disney Afternoon Collection, and then maybe some DuckTales, some other things. Who knows? Maybe I'll knock out 3 or 4 games tomorrow, right on stream, or not. It all depends on how things go, how aggravated I am. But until then, love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.